is Carolyn.
This is Goward.
Okay, we're back.
Welcome back.
And we promised you that we're going to talk about our experience with meeting Michael Jackson. First of all, when I was very young, a friend of mine met Michael Jackson, and she went to their home, and she talked about just how normal they were, because she had someone who worked there at the home, and I think Randy had just become a part of the Jackson 5, and he was trying to say, I'm not going to do my chores, and he said, I'm a star now, and his mother told him, you better get in there and do those dishes or whatever it was he had to do. And she just said they were just so kind and they were just so nice. And she said the people used to be out there knocking on the doors all day long, and they just really didn't pay attention to it because they just said this is happening all the time. But they were just so down to earth, and they just seemed to be such kind people. And Michael Jackson and it was just so funny because at that time, my friend and I, the reason why I knew about Michael Jackson was because of her. She brought me over their first album, and she said, now which one of them do you like? She said, I like Jermaine. And I was just like, well, I'm only 7 years old, 6, I don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to have a husband yet, because she said, this is going to be my husband. So she said, oh, you have to pick one. I was like, okay, so I picked Michael. I just picked him out. And so because I thought he was cute or whatever. So then after that, we were just, we just loved their music and everything like that. And we thought that I teased him and say that's his father. So
hey, she was gonna name me Michael, people. This was serious.
So we would say that we would go to see concerts and stuff, and we would say we're gonna be the ones who's not gonna be screaming, because we are just too above that type of thing. So of course we went to the Forum and we saw the Jackson 5, and as soon as Jackson 5 came out, we were like, and but anyway, she got to, so we always thought that we would meet them together, but she got to meet them apart. And I said, well, you know what? I said, God, I was a child at the time. I said, God, I would like to meet Michael Jackson myself later, since I didn't get a chance to meet him. And do you know, it's miracles of miracles, I was able to go to the ranch and I was able to meet Michael Jackson. I was one of the chaperones that was there, and there's a bunch of kids there that he had there, that were underprivileged, that he had there, that he always had there. And this was during the time people didn't really know about it. It was about 10 years ago. And my son Goward was there. And Michael was so sweet. And I looked at his hands to see if he had vertigo. And his hands, he didn't have a whole lot of makeup on it. And so it looked, I could tell there was a dark side.
I could see under his makeup that there was dark
spots, and then there was a light spot. And so therefore I could tell that Michael Jackson did have vertigo. And no matter what reason he got it, if that's because he, they said, okay, because he took some medicine or he put something on there. Well, I mean, what if you decide to get a tan and you got a disease? I mean, is that okay? I mean, should people make fun of you because of that,
Now, as far as his vitiligo is concerned, I believe that he has it. I have it. I didn't do anything to make it happen. I have it on my neck. And you will notice that today I'm wearing...
You pull it off and let them see?
Well, if that will help, sure.
I think so.
That's okay.
Has vertigo.
That's one side. And then here's the other side.
It takes all of the pigment out of your skin, is that correct?
Every bit of it.
No matter what reason he got it, the disease, you have the disease now. And therefore people should not pick on you. So they say the reason why he takes this stuff is to lighten his skin so that it can be all one color.
And in order, if you wanted to be one complexion, you would have to take some kind of medication or something to remove the pigment from the rest of your skin, is that correct?
Yes, because I tried to do the other. Now, maybe it can be done, but I took my makeup and tried to cover the spots, but you could still see the spots. So if I were...
You make of the exact same color.
Yeah. So if I were going to do something, camouflage it, I guess, then I feel that I would have no choice except for to lighten the rest of my skin.
Particularly if you are a star and people don't know you have a disease,
right?
Which he said he didn't want to at first. But when he did speak about it with Oprah, then they still wouldn't talk about it. They just made fun of him all these years.
Right, and then said that he was not telling the truth. So
I mean, I guess you would have to walk in that person's shoes, you know, in order to deal with that. You know, there's a show out now, Makeovers, and nobody's calling those people weirdos.
No, they're not.
that's right.
Well, I mean, what if you decide to get a tan and you got a disease? Decide to get a tan and you got a disease. No matter what reason you have the disease now.
If you lie out in the sun and you get a disease, now should I make fun of you because of that? You know.
I think that's a great parable because it's true, you know. I mean, with Michael, he didn't ask for what happened to him. And there are people that go out there and they do that. So why make fun of someone for something that, you know, has happened to them, a disease, and rather trying to find out about it and alleviate it, or either, you know, address it to other people that may have that same problem.
He was just so kind, and you can tell him about when I went to go get an autograph for you.
Well, I was a kid, and I like most kids, I liked video games, and I was addicted to video games at the time, and so I'm still kind of addicted. But anyway, so I was kind of like, I came and shook his hand. He was really tall at the time. I was like, I was a pea at the time. He was like giant. And I shook his hand. I said, hi, Michael Jackson. I ran back to the arcade because he had a free arcade. And, you know, I'm thinking, I'm like, hey, it's free. I'm running back. I'm getting, you know. But I didn't think about this is like one of the most, you know, pertinent stars in the world at the time. All I'm thinking about is video games. Wow, free arcade. But anyway, I came back and I was like, you know, I thought about it. I was like, I should have told him thank you. But later on, we did get invited back when I was older, and
But I was trying to get the autograph for Goward, and the publicist didn't want him to give autographs because that's like working or something.
Right.
But people had gotten autographs or whatever, and I was walking with Michael, and I was like, "Did you get this correspondence that I sent?" Blah blah, and he was talking to me, and he was like, "No, I don't know. What was it?" And he was just really really sweet. We were walking towards his house, and then I said, "Well, do you mind giving an autograph for my son?" And he goes, "Sure." And so he starts writing it, and his publicist runs up and says, "No autograph, no autograph." And I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And so then he came and he snatched the pen out of my hand. And Michael goes, he calls the man's name, and then I got to see the other side of him, the business side, because he was like, "Let me speak to you for a minute." And he said, "I'm sorry." Back to me, he goes, "I'm real sweet. I'm sorry, I'll give it to you when I come back out." And so then he calls him in there, and then he says whatever. Then he stood where they play where they go on the roller coasters and stuff. He stood there and waited for me when he came back, because I was over at the petting zoo, and I was coming back over. And when I came back over, Michael was standing over there waiting for me so that he could give me the autograph. And he was just really sweet about it, and so I decided not to ask him again because I thought maybe he didn't want to. But my son I introduced him again to my son and everything like that. So it was just a very
But it was a
sweet
blessing. It was a seriously positive experience for me. I'm sure that everyone who goes to see the Neverland Ranch can see that
they just run
it's a beautiful
crazy.
place.
I mean, why would you build all that just to destroy
I think
kids?
that a lot of times when we get adults, we cannot appreciate the innocence part of life anymore. But he's captured this, and this is why it's called Neverland. Thus, you know, you live forever. You forever young. And I think that's what the whole point of the Neverland Ranch is, to keep you in a state of youth. And that's what he has found as his way of hiding away. Because if you're someone like Michael Jackson, who doesn't get away that much anyway, and then he has a place where he has like sanctuary, where the people are not on him, especially with all the allegations out there and the names Wacko Jacko in the media and the constant calling him a freak. The so-called King of Pop. He has a place. He had a place until Tom Snetton and his police officers, you know, came in.
Very recently, I was up at the ranch, and I didn't know. I went on this caravan of love, and I didn't even know about going to the ranch, and because we had the sign, and I tell you, you know, what a beautiful home, and it was such an honor for I was Charlie Chaplin, because Michael loves Charlie Chaplin, and he has statues of Charlie Chaplin in his home. And I got the opportunity to go inside his house because the security people know me. His kitchen. I love his kitchen. You know, I know he's got all these expensive this and that, but I'm not into the material stuff. But the thing is his kitchen and the warmth, and then I like the landscaping of his home, and of course the rides, and you know, it was just like a kid. I was so happy for him.